Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena, where we're continuing from where we left off last time with the next game. Haven't played in between, but I almost forgot to start recording because I am a sensible human being. Yes. Anyway, so we hope that we don't lose, but we probably will. I think we're still 50-50 for the day, so I should consider being completely zen about this still. Probably like think of something else while I'm playing so it wouldn't be that annoying. Honestly, I gotta admit that hand is not bad. I'd prefer a third mana that isn't tapped, but still, that's not bad. One of my friends got blue artifact EDH deck, and it basically won round 4-6 every time. That sounds reasonable, sure. But like, if I would play that deck, I would win maybe 2 out of 15. Because like, my luck is legendarily bad. Like, I know today may not look like it because we're 50-50, I think, thus far. But I swear, I've been streaming this for every week for the past... at least once a week for the past, 6 to 7 weeks, I think. There's been, these utterly crazy runs, every time. I can't even begin to try to, describe the amount. I do, stuff like, I have 6 forest cards in my deck. 6. Yes? I had, one game where I drew all 6 forest cards within the first 9 cards of the game, and I'm like, well, that is quite something. I mean, fair. That's your name as well. That's a fair point. So I feel like you can maybe relate to my problem. Okay. Okay, I probably shouldn't use a treasure mana for a cleric class, because if I don't, then I can get the Righteous Valkyrie in on the next turn without doing the Broker's Hideout thing. I hope that's the right choice. Because if I do it then, it'll slow down my Righteous Valkyrie getting in. Surely, I hope so. Honestly, I complain about my luck, but I also make genuinely pretty bad mistakes pretty often. Well, okay, that changes things, but, still. Okay, so... we put that in. We put that in. Okay, do I put the cleric class in now? No. No, because if I don't, then I have 4 mana to spend on the get-go in the next turn. Yes, okay, cool. Yeah, we don't do that. No, okay. 3/3, Vigilance, Trample, Jewel Thief. Sure, okay, great. This could go really bad, though. I'm always one table wipe away from just having to quit. So. I have one of the Giada Fonts of Hope as well, but it ended up not being super useful to me in the end. Like, my deck is so cheap anyway, adding 1 mana for Angels is not as useful as I hoped it would be. When I made this nickname, I had in my mind that I bring bad luck to other players because I'm good. The easiest tables have to... Fair enough. Oh! I made a mistake, though. See? I can't put 3 Voice of the Blessed because I'm an idiot. See, that's what I mean. I'm an absolute moron. Yeah. Okay, so... change of plans. Cleric class in first. Voice of the Blessed in second using a treasure mana. Uh... I mean... What are the chances of them having a 4-4 instant in there for Giada? Who wants to take a guess? They didn't. Alright. Man, it would be quite something to know what good luck feels like. Ooh. Oh. Speaking of... I mean, might as well, right? Right. Maybe you should go back. I mean, there is a plus and minus in going back to Magic the Gathering. You do get to look at the pretty cards. You do get to play, you know, the games that are sometimes interesting. But you get so much stress because everything is always against you and everything is always going to hell and you always have terrible luck playing the game and it's just like, it's the most miserable time you will ever have. Like, I don't even know if I'm joking anymore. Right. See, this is what I mean. Yeah, and then I only get land. I think we can call it here. You're in real life playing that when I try to play. Yeah, I mean, I play Alchemy instead of Standard, but only because of this, if I may just really quickly show. Like, I have a specific thing that I wanted to do, right? That has stuff like Bond of Discipline, that tap all creatures your opponents control, creates a creatures you control gain lifelink. So you can like put everything through in one turn. Yeah. But it's an arena base set card, which is currently alchemy then. Like, they changed the arena base set cards into alchemy cards. So they're no longer standard, right? So if I wanted to use this, and if I wanted to use any of the other base cards like Impassioned Orator or Hallowed Priest, which I have one of, then I have to play Alchemy. Like, I don't think I have enough of the cards to do an equally useful standard deck of this. Because then I would no longer have the method of pushing everything through when I need to. And those cards have won me many, 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 many games, like these here. Yeah, oh yeah, Alchemy is like, it's like Standard, but it also has a bunch of other cards as well. So see, Standard is these sets here, right? Alchemy is basically all of these cards. In some instances, a few of the standard cards are changed and rebalanced into Alchemy a little bit. Like, for example, the Luminarch Aspirant. In Standard, it gives a +1/+1 at the beginning of combat, I think? Or at the end of combat. Whereas in Alchemy, that same card is changed into giving +1/+1 counter at the end of, like, at the end step of the turn, which is a different thing. Well, I mean, you know it's a different thing, but yeah. So sometimes they do that, but it's basically standard and then these like so a few of the rebalanced cards, like the one I uh mentioned, and then there are 4 alchemy blocks, one of which is the newest thing that's currently in here, the Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate, and then a few others, and then the arena base set is in alchemy, which I find is kind of BS. Like, so if you're a starting player, you kind of have to play alchemy instead of standard, which it's not guaranteed to be easier. Like, you know, especially when Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate became a thing, and it has some crazy, crazy powerful mythic cards. But in order to get the full use of them, you have to, like, craft 4 of each of them, you know? Which means that the Alchemy format has a bunch of huge, like, pay-to-win whales that just crush everyone. So it's a pretty bad format for beginners, but they put the base set in alchemy still. Like, cool, thanks. All that I knew was standard, extended, modern, legacy, and vintage. I honestly don't know all of those. I just know like standard, alchemy, and then there's like explorer and historic. So like historic is the old cards, and explorer is like old cards starting from, I'm gonna say 2013, 14, something like that. Yeah, because in order to make the super powerful decks, you have to craft like, 16 mythic cards, which means you have to be a whale. So, and then they crush everyone. That is a proper bad hand. Well, we'll see. Extended Modern is basically expanded card pool from standard, like maybe 2 years. Yeah, I'm alright, yeah. Mm. Do I need to honestly take even more land off? Because the card shuffler all of a sudden is flooding me with land in a way it didn't used to. That's honestly a little odd. I don't need, I'm not sure what to think of this. Like, every game I've played, it's flooded me with land for like 25 games. But before that, it was basically a 50-50 of flooding and choking me with it. I don't know. I might have to change this up, yeah. Legacy got some banned cards. We just got only a few. Black Lotus ain't one of them. Yeah. What do I want to do? That's not a good card to have right now. Yeah, no, we're done. I need to make this into a 22 land deck, apparently. That is honestly kind of fascinating. That it changed this quickly to just flooding you with land, even if it's 23 instead of 24. Alright. So if I take one away, which would it be? I'm thinking basic planes, but just give me a minute. You can curse in chat, even in English. You can go for it. Kirota saa satana. Like, when I get angry at this game, I yell F-bombs so much that I'm kind of sometimes worried that, you know, the the recording might be compromised. You know? Okie dokie. Got 150 of leads, another 300. Alright. That is much, yeah. Alright, so let's think. If I take one land away, what do I add? I have one more Luminarch Aspirant. That's not a horrible choice. Lion's Eye Diamond. Alright. Yeah, like, that stuff means nothing to me. Like, don't use shortened abbreviations. I have no clue what any of that means. Like, I'm just like, well, I suppose you, like, when you say lead, then I suppose you went into a store, and then you bought, like, a lead light. You tried to put it into your ceiling, but then it was too expensive for you, and like, that never ever 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 means anything to me. I'm never going to understand what a shortened whatever card is. Like, no. Like, I barely understand what MTG means. Like, I am not a person who knows anything about a single individual card, and I do not know the abbreviated name of any of them. Yeah. Thanks for it, though, yeah. Discard your hand, sacrifice Lion's Eye Diamond, add 3 mana of any one color, sacrifice, activate this ability only anytime you could cast an instant. Alright. Interesting. There is this, though. Angel of Unity. Whenever an Angel of Unity enters the battlefield, if you cast or you cast a party spell, choose party creature in card in your hand, it perpetually gets +1/+1. Maybe. Maybe. For the sake of argument, let's give it a quick look, like, what party, like, because like, everyone's a cleric, basically, with, like, one exception. So let's just give it a quick check of, like, what sort of options does that give me? Mm. Yeah, that's not a thing. Yeah, this was, like, I kind of wondered about for a... Okay, so... Look at the top 5 cards in your library. You may reveal a number of creature cards from among them and put them into your hand. That's honestly... Maybe. Maybe. It has a drawback that I then need, like, 4 mana is on the expensive side if I have little mana in the thing, but still, maybe. Especially when table wipes are an actual problem. Because I have 2 Colossal Majesties. There is the problem that I need to actually get them working. I need something with power 4 or more for it to work. Like, it does absolutely help when it works. It's kind of hard to make a wild guess on how often it would, like, it changes the game's direction that wouldn't have already been going good. Like, it does sometimes save my game, for sure. Absolutely. But I'm wondering, like, if half the time this card works... Like, so, let's do, like, quick math, right? Let's imagine that this card... Like, let's be generous. And if I get this card, it works half the time, right? The other half, it's a dead card in the field that does nothing because I don't get a power 4 creature, and it just doesn't get going, right? So half and half. Half time works, half time it doesn't, right? Let's imagine that half of the time it works, it actually genuinely turns the game around that I win because of it, you know? And the other half, it just improves a game that I was probably gonna win anyway because it's going well enough to have, like, power 4 people in there, which basically means I have counters in there, or a Righteous Valkyrie has done a lot of plussing in there. So it's like, if I have a power 4 creature on the field, it's a pretty good indicator that the game is going kinda decently. Because nothing of power 4 goes in, like, I have nothing higher than 2 at face value, right? Three mana cost enchantment ain't bad, but I don't know about current meta. Yeah, I wouldn't know about meta either, but I'm just saying that, like, I can only make changes based on my own experiences, right? And I'm getting the, like, I mean, you've seen it happen today. Like, I think if you've paid attention, I think you've seen at least 3 instances where this card, either once or twice even... well, that's fine. I've played today, I think, 9 games-ish. In 3 of those games, or 4, one of these cards or multiples of this card has come into play. Like, I played it into the field. I think it started working once. And the other 3 times, they're just dead cards that can't do anything, and they just live there. I'm starting to feel that I might have to change these out into something else. Because this is not... I think it's working less and less well. And I think You Meet in a Tavern might be better. It's 1 mana cost higher, yes. But how many plus... No, that's... as I explained, none of my creatures start with a 4. The highest I got is 2. The system I have going is I have a lot of Voice of the Blessed that give... Like, it's a healing deck. See? It's a healing deck that gives counters, right? So if Voice of the Blessed is on the field with 2 times life happening, and I have a lot of cards that give life when stuff goes into the field, then they become 4 or better. Voice of the Blessed, Hallowed Priest, Gala Greeters, Trelasara, this stuff. And it used to work better than it's now doing, but in my recent, let's say, 20 games, the Colossal Majesty has plummeted into not working anymore. You're counting off counter, yes. It used to work pretty well, but now it's no longer working, and I think I need to go for something different. Because this is just no longer happening. And I'm wondering what to do with it. Yeah, I... Just before you said that, I drew them off there. I swear it didn't used to be a dead card, but now it kind of is. It's no longer working. In the beginning of the thing, I had the problem where I could never ever draw a decent hand, so I had to keep on getting cards that draw cards, right? And white and green are terrible at drawing cards. With almost no exceptions, white and green are the kind of, like, colors where in Alchemy and Standard, They're like, use this card for 3 mana and you get 1 card. 1. And I'm like, fuck you. You know? Like, that's what white and green do in drawing cards. That was the reason. But it no longer does anything useful. Okay, so my options, I think, are... like, if I don't want to craft cards, and I kind of don't want to craft stuff, because in September, October, the rotation happens, and I want to see what the rotation brings before I craft stuff, you know? If possible. This is a decent example. This, I think, is a pretty decent, not horrible idea. Maybe. Angel of Unity is maybe a thing as well. I've seen it played a lot these days. And it does make kinda sense. Because they're all clerics, with, like, the exception of innkeepers. Okay, what else than that? Okay, so let's... Angel of Unity and meat. I'll write this up so that I remember, like, what could work, right? Angel of Unity and you meet in a tavern. Alright. The 2 not horrible examples thus far. Now let's just start, like, just... Okay, what's the, something I haven't thought of? Charmed Stray is too weak. I really don't think they're useful. And I have a lot of 1 mana cards already. I shouldn't be a thing I need to do. If I want, like, there is the option if I want to get crafting. I guess I could craft Brutal Cathars, but it's rare wild cards. I'd rather not. Brutal Cathars exile a creature when they get into the field, but they're day-bound, night-bound, so I think they might lose that thing when it comes night. So, yeah, Luminarch Aspirant is not a horrible idea. It's a cleric, so it syncs up with the Valkyrie, but let's just keep digging. Oh, and of course, Hallowed Priest and Impassioned Orator. So yeah, at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That's the plus with this. It doesn't require any other cards to work at least okay in its own right, doing what it needs to do. But I think I'd rather have creatures because I need more creatures because I see a lot of table wipe decks, which means I need more creatures so I can overcome even that, because currently I cannot. Because there is no card that gives everything indestructible, that's just not a thing. As far as I know, there is no way to shield yourself from table wipe decks. That's just not... It just... You need to hope to overcome it with more creatures, if that's... If you're a creature-heavy deck, I think. I don't have any more white planeswalkers either. Giada, Font of Hope. Each other angel you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter for it for each angel you already control. Yeah, tap to add white mana. Spend this mana to only cast an angel spell. This used to be here, but it ended up just... This almost never ended up being useful. The only angel I have is Righteous Valkyrie in the end. The likelihood of that syncing up is not super high. And on its own, this is a slower card for the engine of healing and healing counters than I'd like. Like, it doesn't help with that, not really, so... If I had an actual angel-heavy deck, different story. But I have only the Righteous Valkyries thus far. So, So yeah, this is the basic thing. Whenever you gain life with a +1/+1 counter on Hallowed Priest, not a bad option. This could work. This is a perfectly good thing. Like add to the engine. It sure, why not? So if nothing else comes up, I'll put one more Impassioned Orator and one more Hallowed Priest. But there might be something more useful I'm just missing for now, so give us a minute. Oop. Man, I hate these, because I need to actually see the... It's really inconvenient to see the specializes into list in the deck builder. It's like, just get into a different thing. Specializes seek 3 non-land permanent. Hmm. I I don't really know how to use these, is probably the problem. So I don't know if that has any sensibilities in using it. I would end up probably not using it when I need it, like should use it, so it's kind of like... Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. When entering presence enters the battlefield with a 1/1 white spirit token. Fine. Yeah. Yeah, I used to have these, but, like, yeah. Use 2 mana, gain 3 life, draw a card. So, use 1 card to draw a different card, so I might as well just have a different card anyway in the deck. Like, it just doesn't... It ends up being just... Like, whenever I got this into my hand, I felt just annoyed. Like, it just never worked. It didn't fit. It felt bad. Didn't like it. Same with Rune of Sustenance. It ended up not being that good. I used that for quite a long time too. It just... Double team Soldiers of the Watch, considering that I get creamed with just stuff. Hold on, what sort of double teams do you got here? Just making sure that there's nothing I can actually use. There is a cleric in there. It is a little expensive with 4 mana, that's the problem. That is genuinely a problem. And I'd rather, like, if possible, I'd keep the mana costs as low as possible, because I intend to make a 22 land deck out of this, because it's just... It's drawing endless land in my face, and it's just not working. I think I'd rather have Impassioned or Orator still than this. I think it's still better. Because if they don't have an enchantment, then it gives 2 life once and doesn't help after that, so... What if I would have Angels of... Well, we'll just... Let's see. Number of creatures you control, and like there's always this creature angel. If you would gain life, would gain that much life plus one instead. There is some value in this, I suppose. It's been a long time since I've played those, so I feel like there's gotta be something more useful than that. I feel like this thing is... Maybe I'm underestimating the power of this ability, but I feel like it's pretty weak for a mythic. Like, lifelink, but it's not a flyer, therefore it gets blocked and killed pretty easily, you know? And it doesn't sync up as a cleric or an angel either, so... These aren't clerics, that's true, but what if I have healers on the... Because if I remove one land, then I'd have room for exactly the 3 of these I own. It would improve my ability to have something in hand to put in the field, at least in theory. Although there is the risk of drawing more than one of these into my hand, and that's gonna ruin some of the games there. That is... Untap a tap creature you control. Create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Untap 2 trap creatures you control. Should I have this then instead? I mean, if everything else goes to hell, at least I can make one citizen if I have 1 mana. That should be decent. Maybe? Although there's no guarantee that I'll have tapped creatures, because many of the stuff I have ends up having vigilance. At least one of them will. And attacking with the ones that aren't would... The syncing with getting them tapped isn't super awesome, though. So it ends up... It could end up being a dead card as well. That is genuinely an issue. Inspiring Overseer. I've had one of these before. I think it's the most useful one of the cards that involve, like, hi, put 1 card in there and then draw a card, because it's a cleric, at least, so it's that. So it's a flyer. The problem is it's a little expensive for me. And it's kind of runs into the same problem of, well, I'd rather have something else than this. Almost anything else. Core Celebrant is a really cool one, but it is 1 mana more expensive than the Impassioned Orator. It does have the bonus of gaining 1 life when it enters the battlefield, and it's slightly more difficult to kill. That is fair. But in a deck where I want to have quickness for the engine parts, the quickness absolutely matters. Flying. When you enters the battlefield, you get a boon with when you cast your next creatures without spell with perpetual against flying. You know, maybe. This actually might be... Hold on. Let's go into the thing with the thing. Whenever you attack with one or more, draw that many cards and discard a card. Whenever you attack with one or more other creatures with flying, each opponent loses that much life and you gain that much life. Whenever you attack with one or more other creatures with flying, create that many 1/1 white soldier creatures that are tapped in attacking. One or more other creatures with flying, those creatures get pushed to until the end of turn. Whenever you attack with one or more other creatures. What about this one? It's within the 0 to 3 mana area I want to operate in if possible. It's an angel, so it gets the Righteous Valkyrie plus. And I do like to have a flying option. Those are usually really good, and the current players I play, there's a oftentimes if the creature is flying, there's a really decent chance, like a really decent chance that you can just freely hit to the face with them for a while. This may be. This is not a horrible idea, maybe. Okay, that's actually let's write that down. That could be a not a horrible idea. Um, I sometimes I've been looking at this one, but again, I think creatures are better because there's so many table wipe decks, and it's, you know, when Maul of the Skyclaves enters the battlefield, attach it to a target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has flying and first strike. Like that's a cool thing, but I need to have a creature to attach it to, and I might not because table wipes. I don't know. This feels more useful in that flying sense, you know. Hmm. This one's the same thing as that one angel, but this isn't flying, so that's actually worse. That's kind of odd. Never other creature into the battlefield under control, scry 1. If this is the second time this ability has resulted. The one problem is that it's not a cleric, but this still could be a pretty good idea. That's not a bad one either. Rumor Gatherer. Let's write that down as well. Especially because I'm putting away stuff that supposedly draws cards, but with that said, they often end up being dead cards these days, so... when Skyline Savior enters the battlefield, return permanent you control to its owner's hand. If it's a non-angel creature card, it perpetually gets +1/+1, gains flying, and becomes an angel in addition to its other types. Hmm. Hmm. I'm unsure if this is good, but it maybe. Um, Type of creature an opponent controls with mana value 4 or greater. Each player gains control of 4 permanents they own. Next all this song with their turn. Search your library for a basic planes card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You may discard a card. When you do, return target permanent card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Oh! Maybe. Whenever Article of Restoration attacks or blocks, create a 1/1 spirit creature. Maybe? Restoration of Aegonio. Hold on. Like, I'm kind of thinking, like, against type even, I think, that I've been usually playing, but maybe. Discard touches a spirit and exile target artifact or creature returns to the battlefield under its owner's control, taking to the next end step. Beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter. If you attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn, draw a card. At the beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter. If you attack with 2 or more creatures this turn, draw a card. Otherwise, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Then, if Wedding Announcement has 3 or more invitation counters on it, transform it into Wedding Festivity. +1/+1. Right. Whenever 1 or more other creatures with power 2 or less enter the battlefield, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. This is not as good as it seems because it's, for some reason, counters break this ability and it doesn't work. Like, even, like, if I put a, so let's say it's a power 2 or less is what it's supposed to be, right? If I put a Voice of the Blessed into the battlefield after this, but there's a healing thing in there, this, while it enters the battlefield as a 2, it should trigger this, but it doesn't. And it becomes a 3/3 and with the healings, because it gets a +1/+1 counter, and this doesn't trigger. That's what happens with the something called like the captain of the guard or whatever it is, the inspiring commander. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. This does not work if your card gets +1/+1 counters through healing, even if it is a 2 or less when it enters the battlefield, meaning there's a glitch that this doesn't. I mean, it could have been fixed since then, but this was like, I don't know, 2 months ago. I tried it and it wouldn't trigger. It doesn't work if you have a healing counter deck, so. Tough luck. I don't really do enchantments or equipments though, so that just doesn't do anything. +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. And then we get into 4 mana things, which is probably not what I need to do. Okay, let's make a quick detour into the green cards and see what's like the sensible things there. Maybe put a land card, put it into your hand, the rest on the bottom. Favorite enemy, note the most prevalent creature. When favorite enemy, target creature you control fights. Whenever a creature opponent controls another type die. Nah. Mm. When Kami of Bamboo grows into the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Doesn't really... Random wolves and fungus beasts, it seems not great in terms of like the synergy, so... Very difficult stuff. Not exactly useful. Human elf druid. Loosen the park. Hmm. Thinking. Hmm. Man, this is a really, really difficult choice to make. Like, it's a big change, but it kind of probably needs to happen. Hmm. I'm wondering if I should change Giant Regrowth with Bala Get Recovery. I may need to change up my like the thing with it's not a like it needs two forests is genuinely an issue for sure. I may have to. This is hard. Worth wondering about though. I think. The 5 games are staged AF when you start empty. Yeah. They're like they are supposed to be the same ish every time at least. Well, same. So you like you choose the right thing to do instead of needing to get lucky. That's kind of what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Like I prefer it that way. That there's the correct choice to go through the thing. So it doesn't just because Duels of the Planeswalkers games. I see. Yeah, that's fair. That's true. That's probably true. Yeah. But they're trying to like teach extreme beginners like very basic stuff. So that's but you'll get through it. I believe in you. Combat target wolf gets +2/+2 whenever opponent casts their second spell each turn with a 2/2 white 2/2 green wolf creature token. They do teach something. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. For newcomers indeed. Because currently like this is basically the way for a newcomer to try and learn like electronic magic, so that they kind of that's like one place, so it's good that it teaches something simple and for really new comers. I think like I've been teaching my girlfriend to play this, and like that's how she learned. Yeah, you play with cardboards, I know, but like new people probably oftentimes don't because it costs a bunch of money and it's hard to play against yourself if because finding physical people to play Magic with is not as simple as, you know, not for me at least. It sounds hard. Okay, the green isn't giving a lot of good options. Social Climber is something, but the Innkeeper is so much better of the same thing. It's really expensive to do. Like, I'd rather just have the Impassioned Orator instead. Hmm. This card would be pretty funny if it starts working, but I feel like it's not gonna change. Like, if this card goes good, then it's like the game is probably going pretty good to begin with. Although... I'm almost morbidly curious to try this. It's a little expensive, I know, but... Well, maybe let's not yet remove more land. Let's just see what happens if we just fix up some of the things we've been dealing with. Maybe. Okay, let's start making some decisions. Iridescent Horn, like, I mean, that's fine, but if we're going into the 4 mana area, I think it's more useful to do the thing that actually draws cards. This thing. Top 5 cards, you may reveal any number of creature cards from among them and put them into your hand, first on the bottom of your hand. Like, this might end up being quite good. I think one of these is at least worth a shot, maybe? And the other one... To find players is hard, and the second one is the cardboard suspense. Yes. Like, if one wants to only play for the sake of playing, I suppose one can buy, like, a really garbage collection for, like used from someone, but then it's gonna be garbage. Like, it's just playing with bad cards then, so it's probably not a great option either. Right. Ah. I used to play Enduring Angel a lot, but... I don't know. Typos all the way, indeed. Yep. Ah. Mm. Should I try this? Or the elephant? Let's try the elephant. Why the hell not? We'll see if it works. Or I'm worried. I'm worried it's gonna be dumb. Now let's try. We'll keep the the mana amounts for now. I want to first see how this behaves, and we'll work our way from there. It's probably not gonna work, but we'll see. At least I won't be constantly drawing the same dead enchantment. It's just it's not gonna work out. Right. Yeah, this is gonna be a bad hand. Maybe I should just go back to the drawing board and just do the Hallowed Priest and the Impassioned Orator, because this hand is so hot garbage. Hot, hot garbage. Here we are. Plains here. No. Something else than land. Hmm. Bond of Discipline may be a decent card in some instances, but I need to draw something else than that to make this specific thing work. I just don't have the mana to play that, like, at all. Yeah, okay, I guess it could be even worse. Uh-huh. Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, curious. Now I actually need the land, so I'll take it. Okay. Oh, well, bye. And the card is... Gavony Dawnguard. Creature, human soldier, ward 1. If it's neither day or night, it becomes day as Gavony Dawnguard enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less from among them, and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. If a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night the next turn. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's not horrible, I suppose. It's something. Something is something, yes? I'm still wondering if I should have instead just added a Hallowed Priest and an Impassioned Orator, but... Surely I need to have something that draws cards, but... I don't know. I might also be not great at scrying. That's also a possibility, for sure. Ha. Okay, well, I'm gonna get to draw a card when the next turn happens. Yeah, 3 forest lands in one fell swoop. This is quite bad. This could end... Oh, man. Okay, okay, okay. Now we have a chance. We have a chance. Okay, which... okay, so if I'm... Hold on. I guess I don't have to do the cleric class yet if I just want to wait what happens, you know? I was told by someone the other day, even if I can play a card, it doesn't necessarily mean I should. Like, what if I draw a Righteous Valkyrie that I really want to get, you know? That's a really good one. Whenever you cast a creature spell, seek a creature card with lesser mana value than put it into the battlefield. If I ever play a red-green, that's... yeah. That is a very, very good card. They basically fill the battlefield with stuff, and they are very much in the business of winning the whole thing. Wow. Starter decks and the opponents are way too easy. This will give false image. The noobs clear them, they get an ass whooping when they play against... But that's true. Yeah, I agree. The jump from the starter decks into players is really big. Although, I believe the... something like the first... someone said like, it was like the first 20 or 30 or something wins are in like a more kiddie pool. Like a matchmaking area, but then it like gets into the, you know, real real shit, if you will. Then it's even harder as pooping if they get some wins with hard. Yes. I do not disagree. There should be a lot, like, just a better stair system of actually, like, having opponents. Can't have whales if you don't have planktons to feed them. Yeah, that's true. I would even dare say players to feed them. It's so pay to win this. Because the good cards are mythics. Mythic wild cards means pay lots and lots and lots of money. Hmm. Planktons are Neums free to play. It's a much well got. Yeah, I know. I understood what I'm trying to say. That yeah. I believe we understand each other. Yes. I don't know if this will work. I'll try. There we are. That was an extremely strange game, but the elephant actually paid off. Very strangely, the elephant actually was the key to that game becoming a victory. So in a very strange, like, it doesn't mean that the card was like an inspired choice that's always gonna be a good idea, but in this specific game, it worked to bring the victory. Therefore, it was an interesting game as a learning experience. I think we can probably agree on that point. Sure, maybe, yeah. It's kind of meh. You gotta pay cardboard and then pay for digital also to play this game. Yes, that is a... No. You didn't watch. No worry. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that, like, the elephant makes this boon where the next creature I play gains flying perpetually, right? And then the elephant got killed at some point, but I got the elephant resurrected with my cleric class card. So it came back into the field, and I got the next creature gains flying again. And then I had 3 different flying cards all of a sudden, right? And I made, through the healing system, I very, very slowly built them up into all having 7 attack, all the flyers, right? And the situation surprisingly sort of moved into a spot where they had only 2 flyer blockers left, and I had 3 flyer attackers. They had 7 life, and then I boing. Nah, it's a well-built deck for now. We'll see. Alright. Man. This has been quite the day. Oh, man. Oh. What a day. Exactly, yeah. 7 a.m. Yeah, I probably should pretty soon consider sleeping. I slept, I think, 3 hours last night. And then I started streaming today, at like 3 a.m. And I had at that point been up for, I can't think, what, 16 hours, 15 hours? So now I've been up for, thinking is really hard. A lot. I've been up a lot, and in the, like, not recently, but like in the previous night, I slept 3 hours. My brain is starting to have a little moment here. Okay, so yeah. 3 cleric classes, 4 Lunarch veterans, 2 fortifying draughts, 1 Luminarch aspirant, 1 banishing slash, 1 hallowed priest, 3 impassioned orators, 4 voice of the blessed, 1 gala greeter, 4 prosperous innkeepers, 2 Trelathara moon dancers, 1 borrowed time, 1 Lulu forgetful Hollyphant, 4 righteous valkyries, 1 Balagate recovery slash land, the wandering emperor. You meet in a tavern. 1. 2 Bond of Disciplines, 1 Elspeth Resplendent, and then just plains, forests, other lands, and yeah. Objection! Yeah! Dr. Badluck, holy moly, subscribing, oh my goodness. Otappa tuosta, kiitos perhanasti, holy moly, thank you. Wow. I don't think I've had a new subscriber in like 10 months or so. Wow, Jesus. Like, tiny streamer doesn't have that happen too often. Wow. Damn. Thank you. That honestly, a thing like that, a thing like that makes this whole ordeal you know, I'm a perpetually, as you know, Magic says, perpetually, I'm a perpetually small streamer, and therefore, like, whenever something like that happens, like someone like just, you know, subscribes, it's just it makes this streaming endeavor feel like it's it's it means something, you know. It's kind of it means so much when something like that happens, because it gives meaning to this whole endeavor of streaming in the first place, you know. Gotta say thanks to Auto. Well, yes, sure. You don't sub for nothing. Then it means even more, because then it means that apparently I accidentally stumbled upon doing something right, in spite of myself. Oh boy, thank you. All right, okie dokie. My brain is kind of shutting down, and I kind of need a second bathroom break anyway, and I should probably consider sleeping. I'm kind of spent for the day. I was aiming for, I think, 3 or 4 hours, so I think I can call it a decent success. Has been nice talking some Magic. It has been nice talking, and I actually have to admit, I think, like me reacting and talking to what we've been chatting about helped me remain more calm and not lose my shit at, like, screaming at the bad luck hands and so on, you know. I've had some angry days with this that I wouldn't say I'm exactly proud of them, but my character flaw is I start yelling F-bombs at games sometimes a little too easily. But I try to be a good person in life. Otherwise, I hope. Yes. That's even better. Yeah, exactly so. Exactly so. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Who do we have in a lot of uh man, there's a lot of ads. I'm trying to see, like, who of the people I follow are like not super long lives, so they wouldn't quit Im- im- immediately. F bombs to lucky draws I can relate. Yeah. But okay, right. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash the like button like it's about to be a hallowed priest, like you know, with a Luminarch aspirant or something. It's gonna be great. Yes. Thanks for watching. Yes. Haha. Bye. See you in the next